one relative newcomer and a school on its maiden March Madness voyage clash in quarterfinal game number 2 this afternoon. It's Robinson and Tolono Unity next on the IHSA TV network. One team is in. The Heron Tigers advance, and they get the winner of game 2 here in Peoria. It's a battle of the maroon and white here as the Robinson Maroons take on Tolono Unity, the Rockets. Hello and welcome to Carver Arena. Lee Hall here bringing March Madness your way from Carver Arena. Robinson making their first trip to the Elite Eight since 1951. Tolono Unity, after being hoodwinked in the Super Sectionals for 5 straight trips, they finally get here, their first trip in school history. And here to bring you the play-by-play is Kurt Pegler and Doug Altenberger. Gentlemen.
All right, thank you, Lee Hall. Good afternoon and welcome to March Madness here in Peoria, the second of 2 state quarterfinals in the Class A boys basketball tournament. Kurt Pegler along with former Fighting Illini standout Doug Altenberger. And Doug, as Lee said, you've got a couple of teams really with not a whole lot of Elite Eight experience. Unity has never been here before, and Robinson hasn't been here in 51 years.
Well, you look at both teams, they're going to come in with a tremendous amount of energy, excitement. It's important that the coaches slow these guys down, try to make it another game, although it's very difficult in this type of setting. The fans will be excited, and like you said, I mean the energy level these kids will have will be explosive. But again, just calm down, take it one step at a time, try to calm these guys down, because when you get out there in this type of setting, sometimes things go too fast, you get out of the way you do things, and that's when you start to play bad.
All right, let's take a look at how these teams made it here to the state quarterfinals in Peoria. First, Robinson, very impressive at 29-2, beat Mount Carmel to win the Mount Carmel Regional, beat Teutopolis to win the Newton Sectional, and then beat Trenton Westland to win the Charleston Super Sectional on Tuesday night. Meanwhile, for Unity, the Rockets rode to the final, or Elite Eight, I should say. In the sectional, they beat Chrisman and Central A&M from Moweaqua. That was in the Decatur sectional after they won their own regional. And then they beat Warrensburg-Latham in the Decatur Super Sectional on Tuesday night. Now, as far as the key players are concerned, Doug, we're going to see some terrific ball players. And we start our conversation with the Robinson standout, Nick Brooks.
Well, he's the type of guy right there that he can do things out here that most guys can't do. I mean, he's physical, he's strong, tremendously in the post. He's got that strong drop step, but he's all can go out on the perimeter. Can shoot the three-pointer, doesn't like it there. It's important for him to get his touches inside in the paint area. That's where he does his damage.
Nick being recruited by about every school in the Big Ten and in the Midwest. Meanwhile, Tyler Smith is the guy that really makes things go for Unity.
And he's a different type of player. He's a more of a finesse player. Doesn't have the strength and size that Brooks does, but he needs his spacing. It's very important for Unity to get this guy to get the touches. Now, he can go inside or outside. Very good three-point shooter, can shoot it from outside and takes it to the hole. You see how many free throws attempts. So this guy has the complete package. Everything flows through him offensively.
All right, let's take a look at the keys to this afternoon's game. We'll start with Robinson, 29-2, and they finished 3rd ranked in the final AP poll of the season. What do the Maroons have to do today?
Well, they're very impressive coming into this game. You see right there, they've got to be real physical, pound that ball inside. That's their strength. Wear down Unity, and then shut down Tyler Smith on the perimeter.
All right, Unity comes in 24 wins and 6 losses. Talk about what the Rockets have to do to be successful.
Well, we talked about some of the inexperience playing at this level. They've got to slow down, control the tempo, handle the pressure, and get Smith his touches inside or outside.
We're going to see a couple of very good basketball teams, a couple of very good players. They're meeting together for the first time in basketball this year. They played football against one another to open the season. Robinson won that, so Unity has a little revenge, I guess you might say, on the basketball floor. Obviously, this game a lot more important as it there's a berth in the state semifinals at stake. It's Unity, and it's Robinson, and it's here at Carver Arena, and I think it's going to be a good one, don't you,
Yeah,
Doug?
it should be a great game. It's got all the happenings of like an earlier game we had. It seemed like another exciting game to come up.
All right, 1 down and 1 to go. And now how about Paul Herzog, the public address announcer for this afternoon's starting lineups?
Good afternoon, basketball fans. On behalf of the Illinois High School Association and the city of Peoria, welcome to America's original March Madness. Today's quarterfinal game features the Robinson Maroons, a record of 29-2, and the Tolono Unity Rockers, a record of 24-6. Let's meet the teams for this contest. First of all, for Robinson, number 12, a 6-foot junior, Kent Tedford. The 6'5" senior, number 22, J.B. Holmes. The 6-foot sophomore, 23, Brad Shaner. The 6'6" junior, 32, Brad Lackenmeyer. 6'2" sophomore, 33, Kyle Hardiman. 6-foot senior, 34, Chris Wakefield. And a 6'4" junior, number 50, Lucas Taylor. Here are the Rockets of Tolono Unity. 6-foot sophomore, 00, David Moore. 5'7" junior, number 12, Mitch Davis. 6'1" junior, 23, Craig Fingelman. 6'2" junior, 23, Derek Seuss. 6'1" senior, 30, Brett Bennett. 6'1" junior, 32, Kyle Eichelberger. 6'2" senior, 43, Justin Little. 6'2" senior, 44, Tony Yezel. 6'5" junior, 50, Riley Pierce. And a 6'1" junior, 55, Stratton Kellenhofer. Now let's meet the starting lineups for this quarterfinal contest. At a forward for Robinson, a 6'3" senior, 21, Jared Whipke. At a forward for Unity, a 6'5" junior, 21, Tyler Smith. The other forward for the Maroons, a 6'3" senior, 42, Chris Brooks. The other forward for the Rockets, a 6'2" junior, 33, Andy Eisenmenger. At center for Robinson, a 6'5" junior, number 44, Nick Brooks. At center for Unity, a 6'2" senior, 24, Cole Boyd. At a guard for Robinson, a 6'1" senior, 13, Kirk Lowry. At a guard for the Rockets, a 5'7" senior, 10, Josh Harding. The other guard for Robinson, a 6'1" junior, number 30, Tyson Schnitker. The other guard for Unity, a 5'10" junior, number 11, Brian Moore. Head coach for Robinson in his third year with a record of 68-18 is Gus Gillespie. Assistant coaches Brad Styler and Brian Davis. Head coach for Unity in his 7th year, second at Unity, a record of 44-12, Lance Freeman. Assistant coaches George LaFay, DJ Ellers, and Dallas Fender. No other state in America claimed the
All right, let's take a look at those starting lineups again this afternoon. The second state quarterfinal here in the Elite Eight. Robinson will start Whipke, the Brooks brothers. You've got Nick and Chris, and then it's Lowry, Schnicker. Unity has Smith, Eisenmenger, Voigt, Harden, and Moore. Voigt in the pivot there, the center, is also the linebacker and quarterback, starting quarterback for the football team. So a multi-talented athlete for Unity. Both these teams wear maroon and white, but in this case, Unity will wear the home whites with the maroon trim, and Robinson will wear the road maroon uniforms with the white trim. Marty Flaherty, Mark Moberly, Robin Roberts, the officials working this afternoon's second state quarterfinal. Heron is already into the semifinals after a victory over Farmington, and they will get the winner of this afternoon's second state quarterfinal. We're glad you're alongside here on the IHSA television network. Robinson controls the opening tip. Unity in a man-to-man defense. Here's Brooks' first shot. He's fouled immediately. We'll show you where these two schools are located, both on the east side of the state of Illinois. You see their road to Peoria. Tolono is just outside Champaign, so about an hour-and-a-half trip to Peoria. Robinson a little bit further south, a little bit further east. Both these teams from the eastern side of the state of Illinois and making their way to the state quarters here in Peoria.
Yeah, and Unity, home of Brian Cardinal, played at Purdue, and he was a tenacious player, and these guys out there, they're going to probably play with that same intensity.
Brooks makes good on his first 2 free throw attempts. This is a guy that shot over 200 free throws during the season, so he has a way of getting to the foul line. He's given the Robinson Maroons a quick 2-0 lead. Shot up and off the very top of the backboard and rolled off, and now here comes Robinson back into the front court.
See, that's what Unity doesn't need to do. Quick shots. They need to control the tempo, take their time.
From the outside, it's the other Brooks.
Well, Chris Brooks has a little bit more mobility than his brother. Can go on the perimeter, can play the point position if need be. Multi-talented.
5-0 Robinson. Near steal that time, but it's Harden that has it for Unity. There's Voigt. We mentioned the multi-sport star. Lost the dribble, looking for help. Gives it up to Tyler Smith. It's the first time that Smith has touched the basketball. He's the marked man in that Unity offense. Down in the low post. Shot rejected out of there that time by Brooks. It was Eisenmenger who challenged Brooks, and Brooks just wiped the shot away.
Again, Brooks very active on the defensive end. I mean, all over the place. On the other end, on the other series before that, came out of nowhere, tried to block the shot, and forced to almost like a turnover.
And now a turnover as Voigt threw the ball in the backcourt. It's going to be an over and a back call on Unity.
Yeah, Chris Brooks right now, defensively, really establishing himself. I mean, he's really playing the passing lanes, playing a guy and a half. I mean, he's all over the place right now. He's a guy that hasn't come out too nervous, as we talked about in the open. Very focused.
I'd have to say right now, it appears that Robinson has fewer jitters right now than Unity in the opening minute. Now Brooks from the other side. He missed a short shot, and Chris Brooks is over the back that time as Voigt had position, and it was Brooks climbing over his shoulder.
Yeah, the 2 big boys going at it, but 450 pounds.
A lot of beef in the middle there.
He's 235 pounds, and so he can mix it up with Chris Brooks. He's got the ability to do that.
Robinson showing some full court pressure here. Talking with Gus Gillespie yesterday, their head coach, he said, yeah, we'll show you some full court pressure, a little token at the beginning of the game, and as the game wears on, that pressure will get a little bit more serious as we have a foul on the perimeter this time, and it's going to be whistled against Kirk Lowry of the Maroons.
Yeah, he's looking for that second half. The first half, he's trying to wear you down, establish himself defensively, and that wears on you, especially when you're trying to run your half-court sets. You can never really get involved, and right now, Unity have a hard time running it.
Here's Smith, and he's fouled before he can get his shot off.
That's the first touch he's had here in the first half, and so give Robinson an A+ for really denying him the basketball.
Jared Whipke is going to be whistled for that foul, which is the 3rd on Robinson, the 1st on Whipke. We're just underway. It's 5-0 Robinson in the 2nd state quarterfinal here in Peoria. Smith hangs, fires, and he scores.
Oh, what a tough shot. Brooks was all over him. He hung in there, really sort of forced it. You see, again, that great shooting ability. Those guys can always get that shot off.
The Brooks brothers play catch, and it's Nick Brooks scoring off the feed from Chris Brooks. What a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, you think they've done that before. I mean, that looked like they made quick eye contact, read each other, and a great entry pass from the wing. 4 points now for Nick Brooks. His brother Chris has 3, so the Brooks brothers have all 7 of Robinson's points, and the Maroons have a 7-2 lead. We've played 2 minutes here in the first quarter. Now Smith again on the baseline. Another tough shot. Can't get it go. Ripped down by Nick Brooks. He brings the ball up the floor now. All the way down. Lost it out of bounds, and it's going to go back to Unity. Rockets 24-6. Coached by Lance Freeman in his 2nd season. 44 wins and 12 losses. He coached in Missouri prior to coming back to the state of Illinois, where he once was a star high school basketball player. Said it was his dream to get as a player to the state. Didn't get there as a player, got there as a coach. Down the lane is Harden. His shot is no good. Smith, the offensive board. His stick back is no good, and cleared by Brooks. His 3rd defensive rebound here in the opening minutes. 2 good looks by Unity. Got to finish those shots off, especially when Robinson who puts that pressure on you defensively. You don't get too many of them. And we've got a foul away from the basketball, and it's against Robinson. There's going to be an illegal screen called. It looks like it's on Smith.
Let's talk about the two cities here that are competing against one another. Robinson is in Crawford County, 6,700 the population. The school enrollment is 605. They're part of the Apollo Conference. Unity, Tolono, is just outside Champaign in Champaign County, 2,400 the population. The enrollment of 445. Illini Central, the conference, the Apollo Conference that Robinson plays in, has some Class A and some AA teams. It's one of those conferences where it has a mix and match of different enrollment sizes for its schools. Smith that time gets the nice shooter's touch. He's got 4 points. It's a 3-point Robinson lead.
Again, another tough move on floating. Nice soft touch, hits the rim. Seems whenever you're a good shooter, you always get those bounces that goes in.
That time a near steal by Brian Moore, but it looks like he got too much of the arm of Tyson Schnicker, and he whistled for his first foul. That'll be the second team foul on Unity. Robinson 7, Unity 4. Early goings here, the second state quarterfinal. Again, the winner of this game will face the team that is already in the books, Heron, which knocked out Farmington here in the first Class A Super here at Carver Arena. On the low block that time, it's a short shot that rolls in. Lockenmayer.
What a great luxury to have a guy like him come off the bench at 6'6", 200 pounds. So they've got some reinforcements in the middle.
Smith from the outside, his first three is no good. Voigt the offensive board, and a nice bounce pass down to a cutting Smith.
He said he was a quarterback. Got great vision there with the left hand. Great for Smith to stay with it, even though he missed the three. Great give and go.
And now it's Lockenmayer trying again. His shot was contested that time by Tyler Smith, who came away with the defensive board. Both teams pounding the ball on the inside, Doug, trying to score in the paint.
Yeah, now you see Smith starting to get more involved in the offense. Unity starting to get a little bit more comfortable from the perimeter.
Now the three ball from the outside is missed that time by Brian Moore. Back comes Robinson quickly up the floor. It's Schnicker, but there's going to be a foul again as his penetration was stopped on the contact.
Yeah, Unity doing a very good job getting back defensively. You see Robinson really trying to force the ball, push the point of attack, and look for those quick transition buckets. And Unity's gotten back on defense.
This IHSA broadcast is brought to you by Yakko Tractor. You've got to drive one. And by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
And I don't want to say our lack of size really hurts us. I think we're very athletic. We got guys that could guard anybody on anybody's team out on the perimeter and go into the post. We maybe lack a little bit of height, but we don't lack anything with thickness and bulk. We got a lot of strong kids. A lot of these kids played football. They're on the weights. So what we make up and maybe lack of size, we try to outwork other teams and play harder than other teams.
Do they all play like Brian Cardinal?
You know, Brian Cardinal's one of those hard-nosed kids. Yes, they play like Brian Cardinal. A lot of these guys, you know, matter of fact, make references to Brian Cardinal, how he played. And, you know, I don't want to say necessarily we emulate how he plays, but these kids know that if they play hard, rewards can happen.
That's Unity head coach Lance Freeman, as we said, in his second year, 44-12, talking about Brian Cardinal, probably the most famous basketball player to come out of Unity, but on a nice lob in that time, it's Nick Brooks scoring for the Maroons, who now have an 11-6 advantage.
And talk about Big Ten players. There's a guy that a lot of Big Ten teams or schools are trying to recruit, and what a great inbounds play. Athletically went up over everybody.
A 5-point advantage now for the Maroons. Nice pump fake that time by Unity's Stratton Kellenhofer, and he knocks down his first jumper of the game. He's got 2, and the Unity Rockets have now cut into that lead. They only trail by 3.
Kellenhofer is really denying Brooks the basketball right in his face, and Brooks really trying to move without it, trying to create something.
Brooks on a low block, tough shot. It looked like he was going to spin left, and he actually wound up throwing it up on the right side.
Well, what he did is he went up, he felt the contact on his right shoulder, tried to switch over with to his left, was almost able to finish that shot off. But again, you could just see his athletic ability out there. And why some of the Big Ten schools are really recruiting this guy so hard.
Yeah, Illinois, Iowa, Purdue, Notre Dame, you name it. If it's a school in the Midwest, they've had a phone call into this guy.
Yeah, they had a neat story how Bill Self stuck his head in the locker room to say hello, and he sort of jokingly said, "Who is this guy?" So one of the things they compliment about this guy is really his down-to-earth and just sort of humble way he is. And try to boost his teammates. And it's great to see a player with his ability have that type of mindset.
And he's at a point where he says, you know what, I'm just a junior. I got a lot of basketball ahead of me at the high school level. I'm not thinking about college yet.
Plus, he's got his older brother to worry about.
Missed shot that time by Brian Moore. Back comes Robinson. The basketball and a 5-point lead, 13-8. We are under 3 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. 3 ball from the corner that time is Whipkey. It's no good. And back comes Unity now as Moore pushes the ball up the floor. Ball is kicked out of bounds, and the Rockets will retain the possession. Now we're seeing some substitutions for Robinson as Chris Brooks has re-entered the game, as has Kirk Lowry. So 2 of the starting 5 for Robinson that took a quick breather on the bench are now back in the ballgame.
And sometimes as a coach, when you get, like you talked about, Kurt, when you're open, you get nervous. You lose your wind real quick, and sometimes you got to get back off on the bench, get your second wind, get your legs underneath, and get back out there. So you see both coaches trying to do that with their starters.
Josh Harden, stutter step, offensive foul.
Well, Josh Harden is going to have a very difficult time getting his shot off. He just has more of a jump shot. And when you have that type of shot, it's very difficult to get that out. See how he jumps up in the air? Everybody knows when he does that, he's looking to shoot it. And you see the help defense come over. And he has really struggled with his shot so far. Some forced attempts. He's got to look to get his spacing. That's how he's going to get his shot off.
Now it's Brooks from the outside. Chris Brooks missed the shot, and it was saved that time, but saved to nobody. Whipkey did a nice job keeping that ball in play, but no teammate there to get it, so he just chucked it in, and he wound up turning ball back over to Unity.
Yeah, Robinson shooting some quick shots, not getting that ball inside.
Smith hangs and fires and scores. All of his shots have been contested.
I mean, Brooks was right in his face. He just went right over the top of him, and he has just got that shooter's touch. I mean, again, it's nothing but nylon.
Smith now with 8 points. He has matched Nick Brooks for game high honors with 8. We told you at the top of the broadcast we'd see 2 superb high school basketball players, and we're seeing them here. We've got a whistle away from the foul here. We want to tell you that your spot to get all these IHSA facts and figures is on the webpage, IHSA.org. All kinds of information on there about the teams in the Elite 8. You can also find your listings for the IHSA television network. There's Score Zone, which provides complete stats of all the series in the regionals, sectionals, and super sectionals. www.ihsa.org, the home page of the Illinois High School Association. There's Chris Brooks for 3 from the corner.
Got to know where he is. He can shoot that 3. He'll step up. And he made one in the opener, so he's got his confidence. Got to recognize that if you're Unity. Got to get a hand in his face.
He knocks down his second tray. He has 6 points, and the lead is 6 at 16-10. Now from the outside, it's Harden, who is still scoreless, but the ball is out of bounds off Robinson, so Unity is going to get it back. The coaching staff just loves Josh Harden. They say he might be the quickest athlete and one of the more underrated athletes. He's not a very big guy, Doug, but you know that sometimes when you have a little spark plug on the floor, even if he's under 6 foot, he can be a big-time player in your program.
Yeah, and especially when you get through the 3-point. Bad pass by Unity.
And a steal that time, and the foul. Schnicker took it all the way down, and he and Harden collided, and the foul is going to be on Josh Harden.
Yeah, that was a miscommunication on the out-of-bounds play. There was nobody there. He just threw it over there. I don't know whether Josh Harden was supposed to be over there, but Schnicker does a good time of getting back and picking up the loose ball. Harden tried to slip over there, but he was moving and gets called for the charge.
And so Schnicker, who is a 76% foul shooter, 6'1" junior, to the free throw line.
Now, we talked about their road to the state tournament. I mean, they've been a wrecking machine, this team, averaging literally 18 points a game against their spread. So they've really done a great job. And this guy here on the free throw line in the sectional and super sectional was sick. He said he had the flu. So, you know, with him stronger, and you can see the capability he has. Great quickness out of the box.
Yeah, he's been fighting the flu for better than a week now. Still might not be 100%, but looks good enough to knock down those free throws and give his Maroons a largest lead of the game early on here. 8 points. It's 18-10 Robinson. Pass that time is picked off as Cole Voigt tried to get it inside, but the ball is out of bounds, and it's going to go to Robinson. We're going to have an officials conference, I think, here to determine who last touched the basketball. And it's going to go back to Unity.
I was just talking about how Unity was doing a nice job of handling the basketball in these 2 last possessions. Again, that defensive pressure, stepping it up. Robinson trying to force those turnovers. You've got to really handle that basketball.
Each team guilty of 3 turnovers here in the early going as we approach the 1-minute mark left here in this first quarter. You mentioned Robinson's been a wrecking crew, Doug. Yeah, their closest game in the postseason has been a 15-point spread. I mean, they've just rolled through the regionals, sectionals, and super sectionals. And as the third-ranked team in the state, they're the highest remaining ranked team. Tyler Smith that time drives on the baseline, and he's going to get to the foul line.
There's something about a team that comes together during the state tournament. And this team, no question, is probably the hottest team coming in here today. And you can see the way they're playing with just a lot of confidence, composure, and Unity's really going to have their hands full. And so far, they've been able just to hang in there this first onslaught here in the first quarter.
Smith to the free throw line now, 71% free throw shooter. What a ball game he had in the super sectional on Tuesday night. He scored 29 points in their knockout victory over Warrensburg Latham.
And what I like about him is not only he's a scorer, but he's a great rebounder. I mean, there's guys that maybe won't be one-dimensional, but he's not. I mean, he's multi-dimensional. He can do a lot of things out there. Also can throw the assists, third on the team in assists. So he's a guy not only can do all the other things, but he can look for the open guy.
And now we've got a foul on the backcourt by Unity after the missed free throw by Smith. They were going after the loose ball, and there's a foul. You mentioned the Robinson Maroons on a 24-game winning streak. They lost back-to-back games on the 30th of November to Mount Zion and on the 7th of December to Paris, and then wound up avenging those losses later in the season. So Gus Gillespie's team 29-2 and hasn't tasted defeat since December the 7th.
Well, like he talked about, I mean, you can just see when after they won their super sectional win, they tremendous amount of confidence. You know, they didn't come here to play well. They'd come here on a mission to try to win the whole thing.
Yeah, and those two losses that they had, the first one to Mount Zion and the second one to Paris, they played both of those teams in a holiday tournament, beat them both on the same day, so they avenged those losses. 1-and-1 free throw is missed. It's still an 8-point game at 18-10. Now Unity tries to come back down on the other end as Justin Little's going to be called for the offensive foul or perhaps a turnover.
I mean, there's an example of intimidation. They knew where Brooks was. He had to put a body on him and had a difficult time, even though he's 250 pounds. You can go up against the Brooks brothers, but you got to know where those guys are. Great leaping ability.
No foul on that play. It was just whistled as a turnover, which is the fourth of the game against the Rockets. You see the time in the corner, under 40 seconds to go here, opening quarter. Robinson's off to the good start. They have an 8-point lead and the basketball here, likely the final shot of the quarter. As they spread the floor. Tyson Schnitker is the one at the top of the circle here. He's the one who's running the boat. 10 seconds now left in this opening quarter. Schnitker penetrates, kick out from the corner. It's Whitke knocking the ball down as it rolled in, a 3-point shot. It's an 11-point first quarter lead. The Robinson Maroons come out and they lead 21-10 over Unity after the first 8 minutes of play. More basketball comes your way from Carver Arena after these messages and a word from your local stations.
(21-10) Robinson leads Unity here after one quarter. We're with Scott Hamilton, the Tolono Unity athletic director and football coach. You know about how tough Robinson is. You saw them first game of the football season.
Yeah, they've got a great team and a great athletic program down there. And, right now things don't look good, but we've been behind before, and our kids know how to battle and been in a lot of big games. So I look for us to make a run here real soon.
You guys have a pretty good carryover. 12 of these 15 players played football for you. There's a good tradition there.
Yeah, there's a great tradition. The football program and basketball program have worked real well together, and I think that's made both of us be successful. And, what an opportunity for these kids and our community, and, everything's just wonderful.
Coach was in the title game football a couple of years ago. Lance Freeman was in his first year as head coach. He canceled a game that night so the guys could play in the football game. The basketball team could come and watch the football players play in the 2A state championship game. Back to you, Kurt.
All right, thank you, Lee. Indeed, these two schools, predominantly football powers, meeting in the state basketball quarterfinals, and much carryover between the football and the basketball teams. And you get that a lot of times when you have these Class A schools. When the athletes are in school, they're going to play football, basketball, baseball, track and field, whatever they can get their hands on.
Just how it's amazing how guys who win in football and get on the basketball court, those winning ways carry over.
And we've got a foul this time away from the basketball, and it appears that it's going to be whistled against Robinson.
Yeah, Unity right now, some of the other guys have got to step up. Smith has got 8 points. He's doing his job offensively, but Harden and Moore and the rest of those guys have got to get on track. And offensively, they just seem to have a hard time just getting their shots off, let alone trying to get into the offense.
Jared Whipkey of Robinson guilty of that foul. That's his first, and it's the team's 6th for Robinson. A long three that time is missed by Brian Moore, and Robinson comes away with the defensive board. Maroons have done a nice job on the backboards as well. An 11-point lead and the basketball here as we open up play in the second quarter. Now it's Chris Brooks at the top of the circle. Looks down. That's his brother, Nick. Around a double team. Hangs, fires, missed the short shot. Tipped into the corner and chased down that time by Moore. He threw it back in, and somehow Unity came away with it. Now Moore spinning, looking for help. Gives it up to Voigt. His pass down low that time intended for Justin Little is picked off, and it's loose, and it's on the floor, and it's going to be a held ball, jump ball possession goes to the Maroons.
That is a very difficult shot for him. He needs to get that ball below the top of the key so that if they sag off on him, Voigt can hit that 18-foot jump shot. But a bounce pass from that angle inside is very, very difficult. Take a step in and then try to do that pass.
And Josh Harden has checked back in for the Rockets. We mentioned the tournament history. It's the first appearance for Robinson. They won sectionals back in 78 and 93, and they haven't been here in 51 years, at least to the state quarterfinals, as we mentioned. Ball out of bounds that time, and it's knocked off the hands of Robinson's Jared Whipkey, and it's going to turn over and go back to Unity. Unity's tournament appearance, well, it's their first appearance. 5 straight super sectional losses, 82, 95, 97, 99, and 2000. So close for the Rockets, never able to get over that super sectional hump until Tuesday's victory.
Yeah, they've had a lot of coaching changes there, but they've done a great job of getting to that point. And there you see again, Voigt does a good job of pinning the guy on his back and able to do a reverse pivot and finish that off. That's what they need. They need to put a body on Brooks so they can't be able to block your shot.
Terrific basket that time by Voigt. Nice entry pass by Harden. Voigt's first 2 points of the game. It's 21-12 now in favor of Robinson as we approach the 6-minute mark left here in the opening half. And again, contact away from the basketball, and the foul's going to be on Robinson. And it's going to be on Nick Brooks. Let's see if the replay can show the oh yeah, there's the contact right there between Brooks and Andy Eisenmenger, and Brooks has whistled for his foul, and it's going to be a 1-and-1 situation. There's a 30-second timeout that time called by Robinson.
Yeah, Brooks has got to be very careful not to get frustrated out there, because right now when he gets into that post area, there's guys that from Unity are taking on the assignment, whether it be Voigt, Eisenmenger, or Moore or Smith or any of those guys are trying to put a body on. There you see the team comparisons right there, and both teams average about the same amount of points. Field goal percentage-wise, Robinson much better, and then overall you see the rebound very evenly matched in the team comparisons. But it's very important for Brooks not to get frustrated out there. They're going to face guard him. He's got to stay disciplined, take it, make sure he keeps his hands up high, don't try to push off. Because right now everybody's looking for him, see how he's going to respond.
So Eisenmenger to the free throw line now. Junior forward, 6'2", 170-pounder. First shot rolls in. He's averaging 8 points and 5 rebounds a game. And Unity may be down, but they're certainly not out. A lot of basketball left to be played here. Second foul shot now by Eisenmenger is good, so he makes good on both of his free throws. And Unity shows full court pressure now.
Yeah, good idea by Unity. Come out, show a different look, try to mix it up, and confuse Robinson.
And it was Nick Brooks who brought the ball up the floor through the press, and he gets the ball on the paint, hangs, fires, scores, and he's going to get to the free throw line. An opportunity for a sensational three-point play.
Well, you've got to be excited if you're the coach. A great response, and a frustrating foul down at the first time. I mean, the last time down there, he slashes to the bucket, able to get to the foul line out and finish that shot off. And that's what you need from a guy like with his ability, his talents. Keep working hard. And again, he's so effective. There's no one out there that really can stop him with his size and quickness.
82% free throw shooter. He's now 5 out of 5 for the game. And Nick Brooks is now the first player in double figures. Give him 11, give his team a 10-point lead at 24-14. Quickly down the floor and putting up a shot is Brian Moore. He missed it, but spinning is Justin Little. He missed the shot. It's tipped back out. He's going to get his own rebound. And so Unity will reload the offense.
Yeah, Justin Little, 6'2", 250 pounds. He's going to move some people out of there. Try to put a body on him, but it's going to be difficult.
In fact, he's double teamed this time, and this time he's whistled for the offensive foul.
That's what you've got to do. Hold your position down low. He's going to try. Not a great leaper at 250 pounds. He's not going to get too high off the floor, but you know, he's going to get physical with it. Good anticipation, able to draw the charge.
And so that's the second foul now whistled against Justin Little. It's a 10-point Robinson lead. Maroons with the basketball. Under 5.5 minutes to go till halftime here at Carver Arena in Peoria. State quarterfinals. Tip shot is no good. Brooks got it back. Dish down low. Robinson will bring it back out. This time it's Whipkey. He gives it to the corner. Brooks from the corner this time. His shot is no good. And this time it was tried to be saved by Whipkey, but he stepped out of bounds.
Kurt, there's an example of him just trying to be a little too unselfish. You know, he had that ball inside, and he's 6'5", should go straight up over there. Passed it instead of that, then went to the perimeter. But down low, there's nobody who's going to stop this guy. And I mean, he's just right now so athletically better than anybody out there. It's just amazing.
From the corner, it's Tyler Smith, a 3-ball, and now he's in double figures. 5 out of 9 from the field, 11 points for Smith. So he matches Brooks for game-high honors and pulls his Rockets within 7.
And that's what makes him so tough. Shut him downside, he'll go behind the 3-point line.
And a steal that time on the floor. Unity has it. Kellenhofer is scrambling on the floor. He's tied up. And it's going to be a foul against Robinson this time, as Nick Brooks was the one guilty of it.
Well, both the Brooks brothers got 2 fouls. And there's one thing you can't guard anybody when they're on the bench. So those guys got to be very careful going into the second, going into halftime, and not to pick up their 3rd foul.
So give Stratton Kellenhofer some credit. He dove on the loose ball. And amidst his aggressiveness going after that ball, he was able to draw a foul on Smith, or on Brooks, I'm sorry.
Kellenhofer really coming off the bench and hit a bucket there, really mixed it up, played extremely well.
I don't know who took the poll, but evidently in the sectional, the boys of Tolono Unity were voted the all-bad hair team. Now, I don't know, Doug, that's unscientific. That note was passed to us. I'm not sure if it was by the fans of the team they were playing or whom. But they don't care how their hair looks. They just want to come out on top when the score is all that's involved. 4:28 to go till halftime. Unity has a little bit of momentum. They pulled to within 5. Robinson 24, Unity 19. More from Carver Arena in a minute.
Meet the toughest, strongest, meanest machines in the field. The all-new tractors from AGCO. From the rock-solid cast-iron frame to the Cummins turbocharged diesel beating at its heart. This baby is ready to take on the toughest jobs your farm and Mother Nature could dish out. So powerful, so tough, it belongs in a cage, not in a barn. Experience one today at your nearest AGCO dealer.
Bradco Supply Corporation is proud to be a sponsor of this year's Illinois High School Association State Basketball Tournament, the home of America's original March Madness. The best of luck to Unity High School and to Robinson High School. Speaking of Robinson High School, head coach Gus Gillespie had these thoughts on his star player, Nick Brooks.
Nick's a first-team All-Stater. He does everything for us. He drives the ball, he shoots the ball well from the perimeter, and also post. But he's a very unselfish player, and has faced a lot of gimmick defenses this year, and he does a pretty good job of distributing the basketball and getting his other teammates involved in the play.
He's really a hard guy to match up with, isn't he, Doug? He likes to score in the low post. He can shoot the 3. He distributes the basketball. We've already seen him dribble through a press. He really does about everything well on the floor.
Well, like like his coach said, I mean, he's got the sweet jump shot. He's got the drop step down low. He can handle the rock. I mean, he just does so many things. You can't throw a gimmick defense at him because I think he's smart enough to figure that out and get it to his teammates. Very unselfish player.
Coach Gillespie told me yesterday about the last 15 games of the season. They think they've seen every possible defense thrown at them. Brooks missed a shot. Smith clears for Unity. Teams have diamond and won them and put all kinds of box and one and zone traps on them. Seen a little bit of everything.
Well, Unity right now just guts and, you know, intestinal fortitude out there, just trying to will this game to try to tie it up right now. I mean, right, struggling from the outside. They really haven't had a lot of success, and other than Smith from the perimeter, most of their guards have come up empty.
In fact, their starting backcourt is now 0 of 8 from the floor after that miss by Moore. Harden is 0 for 2 and Moore is 0 for 6, and their backcourt is certainly a pivotal part of their success.
They've got to be happy, only down by 5.
From the outside, that shot is missed that time by Kent Tedford of the Maroons, who's checked in, and now here comes Harden down the floor, all the way down, and it's going to be a foul as he drew it that time. He drew the contact. He's going to get to the free throw line.
See, what's happening is Robinson's poor shot selection on this end has allowed them to get going on the offensive end. Here you see Harden does a good job, sees the one-on-one, doesn't have too many opportunities where Brooks isn't down in the paint area. He recognizes that, puts it on the floor, gets to the free throw line. Talked about being 5'7", sort of fearless out there. Got to play smart. Good decision by him to take it to the hole. Now you talk about nerves. Kurt, we talked about in the open right now. You could just see he's really struggling with his jump shot. Mom's not real happy. They're cheering him on. And well, there's just sometimes when you come out here, different environment, the stakes are higher, and it just seems the shot feels different out there, and he's struggling right now.
But I love to see a young man like this, 5'7", 150 pounds. Nobody's going to tell you that you can't play basketball, right? He's going to go out there and he's going to shoot and shoot and shoot. He's going to make his way onto the team, and he's going to be a starter, and he's going to play some significant minutes. His mom liked that free throw. His first point, so that's the first points in the backcourt so far for Unity. Harden and Moore have combined now for just 1 free throw. So a slow start for Unity, but they're still only down 4.
Yeah, head coach Lance Freeman takes him out. He's got 2 fouls. Smart move. Doesn't need his 3rd one.
Here's Brooks all the way down. Nice kick down pass that time as he found Brad Lockenmayer working the baseline.
Great job of recognition. A tough shot there. Guy got a piece of the ball, is able still to finish that off. Good strength.
Lockenmeyer's given the Maroons a nice little lift off the bench. He has 4 points. It's a 6-point lead, 26-20 for the Maroons. And now Tyler Smith tries to answer. His shot is short and knocked out of bounds. It's going to go to Robinson.
Looks like he got a little going up. He got hit on the wrist on that shot because it came off a little different, a little odd right there. Didn't get the call, but never complained. Tried to stay with it, tried to get the offensive rebound.
I stand corrected. It's going to be Unity's basketball out of bounds. Initially, I thought they whistled it would be Robinson. They tried the lob on the inside. It's Smith who got the ball but missed a short shot, and now it's going to be Chris Brooks that comes away with it. Baseball pass ahead. It's Lowry all the way down. Knifed the shot, but it's going to be an offensive foul that time as Justin Little stood his ground and took the charge.
Well, we talked about good decisions here. Great job by Little to come out of nowhere, even though he's 250 pounds.
Yeah.
He got in that position and was able to take the charge. I mean, that was a great. There's an example of where he didn't go after the ball, but he got to the point before the offensive player there, and that's how you to take charges. You don't run at the guy. You get to the point where he jumps off and he's out of control and gets the charge.
Big fella takes the charge, and now Unity has an opportunity to get within 4 points, or 3 if this one goes down. Smith's shot is no good. Nick Brooks comes down with a rebound. Nick Brooks now with 6 rebounds here in the first half.
He just does it all. Brings the ball down when he needs to, and can post up down low. And
this is Schnicker. He hangs, he fires, and he's going to get to the free throw line.
See, what causes that is that there's so many guys worried about where Brooks is. He had 2 white jerseys all around him. So when there's penetration, you can see it's wide open. And they've got 3-guard attack, Robinson does. Schnicker does a good job of, see, there's no one able to help out because everybody's worried about Brooks when there's penetration. And that's what you need to be a great player. Sometimes it's not always what you score, you see in the box. It's the other little things, and that's what makes it so attractive for this guy, Brooks, that I like about his game. He doesn't have to score to be effective out there.
And now Harden's going to come back in the game for Unity and send Brian Moore back to the bench. Tyson Schnicker, S-C-H-N-I-T-K-E-R, junior guard, 6'1", 165. As Doug said a few moments ago, battling the flu in the sectionals, but came up big, helping Robinson, making its first Elite Eight appearance in 50 years here this week in Peoria.
He looks fresh out there today. He looks like he's well recovered.
Under 2 minutes to go, opening half, 27-20. Robinson with the lead, Unity with the basketball. Smith had a shot partially blocked that time. Lockenmeyer got his hand in there, and now Nick Brooks accelerates through the defense, but he lost the ball. And it's Kellenhofer who comes away with it for the Rockets, but he walked in the backcourt. Indecision as he tried to get the ball over to Tyler Smith, and he's whistled for the turnover, which will be the 8th against the Rockets.
And both teams, surprisingly, it seems like Unity's had more of the turnovers out there when you see the game, but right now it's both teams have got 8 turnovers for the game.
You see the shooting stats for this basketball game in that graphic. Shot from the corner is missed that time, but it's tipped right back out to Whipke, who was the guy who took the shot.
Yeah, got to be careful when they have a long shot. Got to seal on the other side of the basket. Unity doesn't do that.
Schnicker finds Whipke, missed the shot off the glass, tipped out that time and controlled by Tyler Smith, who's hacked in the backcourt.
Again, Unity very lucky, fortunate, I should say, to a couple wide open looks by Robinson. Not able to put those balls down by Whipke, and they get back to the free throw line. He makes 2 of these. He's down by 5 with a minute to go. And if you're Gus Gillespie, you got to be sort of frustrated. Where if you're Lance Freeman, you got to be sort of excited. Where guys from the perimeter haven't played too well, and we're still down by 5.
I think that Lance Freeman would admit that his team has not played very well in the first half, and if they're only down by, 5 points going into the locker room, I think he'd say, you know what, after those first 16 minutes, I'd take that, take my chances in the final 16 minutes.
I agree with you.
Smith missed both free throws, though, which is uncharacteristic of a guy who shoots better than 71%, and now the officials are discussing whose ball it's going to be, and it's going to go to Robinson.
Smith right now, a lot of bodies have been put on him. You've got guys on the other side, 220, 210, and you've got another guy 200 pounds coming off the bench. And Luckenmeyer, I mean, you've got some guys that throw, physically that takes a beating on you when he's only about 170 pounds.
Saw that graphic indicating Robinson's 1978 boys state track and field championship, and now they're trying to add a state basketball championship to their trophy case. Far corner, Whipke left open, but he's going to pass on the shot. Unity in the zone defense here, Doug. Chris Smith tried to get it into his brother Nick, and it's picked off that time. Quick hands, and Eisenmenger comes away with it for the Rockets. Under 40 seconds to go here until halftime.
Nice decision. I mean, to go to a zone. Sort of surprised Robinson. They weren't quite ready for that.
Harden for 3. Missed the shot. Nick Brooks comes down, and it appears that Robinson will now get a final shot.
Well, a couple of those go down for Unity. This is a whole different basketball game.
20 seconds and counting. You see the time in the corner. 7-point Robinson lead, and the Maroons have the basketball as we tick down the final seconds of the second period. 7 to shoot. Chris Brooks to his brother Nick, and it's going to be a foul. And it's a clear-out foul, and it's going to be whistled against Unity, and it appears that Kellenhofer is going to be the one, yes, guilty of the infraction.
Chris Brooks gets caught up in the air, nowhere for him to go. Fortunately, he sees his brother who bails him out. Nick gets to the free throw line. And this guy right here, I mean, I like to see in the second half for Robinson to try to get the ball more inside to this guy. He needs to get more in touches. I know he can go out on the perimeter, but I think when he goes to the perimeter, he's letting you off the hook. I mean, he physically, I don't think anybody can match up with him inside.
Well, he had 8 points in the first couple of minutes of this basketball game, but now just has 12, so just 4 points probably in the final quarter and a half after jumping out of the gates with 8 quick ones. But his free throw at the end of the first half has given his Robinson Maroons a 28-20 lead over the Unity Rockets of Lance Freeman. Robinson with an 8-point halftime lead as the teams head to the locker room. And Lee Hall is standing by with Gus Gillespie, the third-year head coach of the Robinson Maroons. Lee?
All right, Kurt, thanks a lot. Coach, you got that early lead. Unity came back on you, and now you go into the halftime with an 8-point lead.
Well, hey, it's going to be a close game. Both teams are playing good defense, and it's a real physical game, so it might come down to free throw shooting.
The Brooks brothers had a pretty good first half for you out there.
Yeah, I think Nick, he's getting a lot of double teams. We're going to have to knock some shots down from other spots to get him off of him a little bit.
All right, Coach, good luck to you second half. All right, Kurt, back to you.
All right, Lee, Gus Gillespie's Robinson Maroons at 29-2 have an 8-point halftime lead, 28-20 over the 24-6 Unity Rockets of Tolono High School. Halftime here, game 2 of the state quarterfinals, 28-20. Robinson leads Tolono. We're back with more after these local messages.
Welcome back to halftime. It's Robinson with a 28-20 lead over Tolono Unity. Here at halftime, the winner of this ball game gets the Heron Tigers in tomorrow's first semifinal. Welcome back to Carver Arena. We are with Greg Brooks, father of the two brothers for Robinson, Nick and Chris.
Right.
I'd almost forgot their names. Do you have trouble with that?
No. They're pretty close, so they look a lot alike.
Yeah.
No, I don't get them mixed up.
I can't remember my own kids' names half the time anyway. Tell me about that first half, what you thought of the first half as a former college coach yourself.
Well, I thought we played well. We had a stretch there in the second quarter where I thought we didn't execute offensively. But, we're playing pretty good defense. You give up 20 points for a half, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So.
What's the mail situation like at home? Nick getting deluged with letters already?
Yeah, it's pretty intense letter-wise. He's been recruited pretty hard. He's pretty humble. He's not caught up in it. So, we just keep playing hard, trying to get a state championship.
Right. Tell me about this run to the Elite Eight here. How's the team performed? Has it been a pretty smooth ride, or have they had to overcome some adversity to get here?
Well, yeah, it's been smooth. Here the last couple of weeks, we've had the little point guard, Snicker. He's been under the flu. He had championship game in the sectional. He had the flu, and he was on IVs up till an hour and a half before the game started. Christopher stepped up big that game, and that's the thing about this team. A lot of kids step up. It's not just Nick. It's not just Tyson. It's not just Chris. It's a five-man team, and they really work well together.
These guys come by their talent from Dad. I'm guessing you were telling me you played in Kentucky. You played your high school ball down in Kentucky, All-State. Is that right?
Yeah. I played a little bit of ball there in Winchester, outside of Lexington. Just compete. I just try to instill in them how to go and compete, work for what you get. And they both, Christopher's a real good football player also, and I think he's going to end up going to play some football at probably Southern down in Carbondale. So, it's running pretty rapid talent-wise, I think.
Yeah. The Unity football coach was talking about Chris as a linebacker. I remembered him from that first game of the year in football.
Right. Yeah, he had a good game up there in football for them. Like I say, they work hard at it. I'll give them that much. They work real hard.
Is it twice as hard to be a parent when you have two kids on the team and watching up there? You were standing up, you weren't jumping up and down like the kids from the high school, but you were up on your feet the whole time, you and your wife.
Well, if I jumped up and down, I think I'd blow a knee out or something. But I'm nervous. My nerves are just going. it's exciting. You know, not too many people say they have 2 kids playing the state tournament at the same time. And, you know, I know Nick's going to miss Christopher next year. But they both, you know, everything's in perspective at home. And they know, you know, Nick's the work makes the butter get bread, you know. I mean, he butters the bread. So, you know, we just trying to stay humble.
Yeah. Well, they've done a good job of that, Greg. Congratulations. Good luck to you.
Thank you a lot. Appreciate it.
Greg Brooks, father of the Brooks brothers from Robinson, and they lead here at the half, 28-20 over Tolono Unity. We'll be back at Carver Arena after this local break.
Halftime at Carver Arena in Peoria, where the Robinson Maroons lead the Unity Rockets of Tolono 28-20 in the second state quarterfinal. Winner of this afternoon's game is going to take on Heron, the Tigers, victorious over the Farmington Farmers in the first Class A game. Kurt Pegler, Doug Altenberger back with you. Doug, how about some first half impressions of both Robinson and Unity here?
I thought that it was a very physical ball game, and I think what happened was some of the especially the perimeter shooting was much affected by that. And you can see that both teams really struggled from the perimeter. Other than the Brooks brothers, who had some success, or Smith down low, you could do that.
The Robinson Maroons with a 28-20 lead. We may have had some audio trouble there for a second. So let's talk about some of those first half statistics. We'll tell you how statistically these two teams have stacked up here in the first 16 minutes of action. 28-20 again, the Maroons leading this game, and you can see many of the statistics, at least from the field goals, are identical as far as the number made, but the shot differential is the key right there.
Yeah, we talked about them really struggling from the perimeter. You see their shot selection has been questionable. Unity not able to get the ball inside and establish everything. Robinson really with the Brooks has been able to do that, to get the ball inside.
And the rebound differential there favors Unity. The turnovers are roughly the same. Blocks, Robinson with 2 more than Unity without a block, and the steals are the same. And you see the fouls are close to the same. So the fact that it's an 8-point game, it's a situation that Unity probably feels pretty good about its chances here in the second half. As far as the scoring numbers are concerned, we told you that it was going to be a showdown between both Nick Brooks and Tyler Smith, and both those teams are their respective teams' leading scorers. Nick and his brother Chris have combined for 18 of Robinson's 28 points, and then Unity is led by Tyler Smith, and then off the bench, Stratton Kellenhofer has chipped in 4 points for the Rockets. 28-20, it's a halftime advantage for Robinson over Tolono. Back with more from Carver Arena in Peoria after these local messages.
We're back at halftime, just a couple minutes before tip-off, 28-20. It's Robinson with a lead over Tolono Unity. We're with Lance Freeman, head coach of Unity. Coach, you got behind early, made a run, and they held you off a little bit there.
Yeah, we turned up the defensive pressure in the second quarter there. I think we only gave up 7 points in the second quarter. If we would have done that in the first quarter, you know, we're right back, you know, in this ball game. We're not out of it by any means. Defensively, we did a better job in the second quarter. We knocked down some more shots. Our guards missed a lot of open threes. You know, some of those shots go back in, you know, we're right back in it. So hopefully we concentrate on the offensive end, knock down some big shots.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate it. Good luck to you second half. Kurt, back to you.
All right, Lee. Lance Freeman in his second year. His Unity Rockets trail by 8 at 28-20. Let's take a look at some of those first half highlights. Tyler Smith, of course, has been the main man for Unity. A terrific play here off the feed from Cole Voigt. We mentioned that Cole is the quarterback on the football team, and he looked like a quarterback there. And that time, it's on the other end, Voigt is receiving a nice pass from Josh Harden and scoring for the Rockets. And then from the outside in the corner, a three that time. This is Chris Brooks from the Robinson Maroons, and it's his brother Nick that is leading all scorers with 12 points. The two Brooks brothers have combined again for 20 of Robinson's 28 points. And Robinson leads 28-20, back with second half action from Carver Arena in Peoria after these messages. Robinson 28, Unity 20 here. Halftime as we get ready to start the third quarter of the second Class A state quarterfinal here at Carver Arena in Peoria. The winner of this game is getting the winner of the first game already decided. Heron knocking off Farmington, and so they are already waiting for its semifinal opponent. Let's take a look at the consolidation for Unity High School. Tolono won 3 district titles, 31, 32, 48. Philo, a district title in 44. Sedoris and Sydney, part of those district title teams in the 40s. And that is what makes up the Unity High School consolidation in Tolono. Now we're back to second half action. Both teams are starting their second half with the same exact starting lineups that they have in the first half. Kirk Lowry, Jared Whipke, Tyson Schnicker, Chris and Nick Brooks for Robinson, which has the basketball. Josh Harden, Brian Moore, Tyler Smith, Cole Voigt, Andy Eisenmenger on the floor for Unity. Brooks misses his first shot from the field here in the second half, and the rebound is ripped down that time by Eisenmenger of the Rockets. And now the long lead pass ahead to Harden. He beats everybody down the floor and lays it in.
Hopefully that will be good for Harden to get on track there, get a nice bunny, gets behind the defense, and released early on that possession.
Harden's first field goal from the floor here. His first field goal of the afternoon comes in the opening minutes of the third quarter. That's Lowry. He gives it up now to Chris Brooks. Skip pass in the far corner. That's Whipke. Nicely done down low. We found the opening man, which is Nick Brooks.
A good idea by Gillespie to get the ball inside. Really, there's no one that can handle Brooks inside. Very active, established himself here in the second half. Get that ball in the paint.
Brooks now with a game-high 13 points, and quickly answering on the other end is Tyler Smith.
Well, you just can't give him any spacing. He's got such a quick release.
Smith now with 13 for the Rockets. Back to a 6-point lead for Robinson. 30-24 in the opening minute and a half of the third quarter. Again, the winner gets Heron in tomorrow's first state semifinal here in Peoria. Pump fake by Nick Brooks. Draws a triple team, misses the short shot in the lane. Kind of an off-balance shot, and now it's Unity back in transition. Long lead pass ahead, nicely done from Brian Moore to Andy Eisenmenger. And a timeout on the floor called by Gus Gillespie and the Robinson Maroons. Full timeout for Maroons. Let's step aside for this full timeout. It's Robinson 30 and Unity 26. Back with more in Peoria after these messages and a word from your local station. Four-point lead for Robinson here in the early goings of the third quarter, and you can see that Kirk Lowry has 3 fouls for Robinson, while it's Cole Voigt with 3 fouls for Unity. So a couple of players in early foul trouble, I'd say, here in the second half.
Yeah, and Cole Voigt, he's very important to this Unity team. I mean, he provides leadership out there. He's a guy that does a lot of things, gets that ball at the point of attack. He can shoot it. He can do a lot of things for it. So very important for him not to pick up that 4th foul.
And it's Robinson with the lead and the basketball here. Man-to-man defense by Unity. But a nice move that time and basket by Brad Lockenmeyer.
Kurt, you talked about Lockenmeyer really coming off the bench. Again, there's another example offensively, and that's hard to do.
And a steal, but a foul that time is going to be whistled against Kirk Lowry of the Maroons. He and Brian Moore aggressively going at it, and now that's the 4th foul against Lowry. We just mentioned the foul trouble graphic, and there he is with his 4th foul.
Yeah, and he's, again, another senior, provides a lot of leadership there from the guard position, and has really struggled this game. Doesn't even have a shot attempt, and again, that's because he's been in foul trouble most of this game.
Now it's strong. Smith working the baseline, but he drew a foul before he had a shot swatted out of there.
Well, that was a strong move right along the baseline. I mean, he sort of lulls you to sleep, shoots that 3. He did the shot fake, and then went right along the baseline and went hard. Knew he was going to draw some contact, gets to the free throw line.
Smith is just a junior, and so he's got another year of basketball coming for Unity. And his parents are seated in a very prominent spot here at Carver Arena, watching their son Tyler play. And what an excellent performer he's been. He splits his 2 free throws and the ball is out of bounds, and it's off of Eisenmenger, so Robinson is going to have it. It's a 5-point Robinson lead at 32-27.
Yeah, usually an excellent free throw shooter. Smith really struggling from the line here, 1 for 3, and got to settle down there, get up that free throw line, just take a deep breath and start shooting them in the backyard and step up there and knock those babies down.
Yeah, he's 71% from the line, so you would expect him to be a better performer at the foul line, but there's still a lot of basketball to go, and you know in the final minutes of the game he's going to have the ball in his hands. He might get back to the free throw line. Nick Brooks from the outside, 18-footer, front of the iron, no good. Tipped it in by Chris Brooks, who crashed the glass and now has an opportunity for a 3-point play.
Again, he comes out of nowhere. Chris Brooks, he's a guy that does the little things, much as well as talented as his brother are. This guy's mentally, he's got a great eye for the basketball. Just got to love if coaching a guy like him, and he's just so active, does everything out there for you.
Missed the free throw, though. Give him 8 points now. He and his brother Nick have combined for 22 of the team's 34 points. It's a 7-point Maroon advantage. Now Kellenhofer's in the ball game for Unity. Smith almost lost it, and it's going to be a foul on Chris Brooks, and that's going to be his 4th.
Again, very aggressive player out there and really attacks the basketball. Wherever you see a loose ball, you're going to see Chris Brooks. He picks up his 4th foul, and that's a big foul for Robinson.
So Kent Tedford will come in and send the foul-plagued Brooks back to the bench. So each team now with a starter on the bench with 4 fouls. Robinson has Chris Brooks with 4 fouls on the bench, and Unity has 4 fouls out of Cole Voigt. Now from the outside, a 3-ball is short that time by Brian Moore. Ball out of bounds, and again it's going to be Robinson, so we've got another substitution coming in as Riley Pierce will make his first appearance of this basketball game. He's going to send Voigt back to the bench.
Well, right now, Unity's still really struggling from the perimeter. You've got Brian Moore, who's 0 for 7, and Harden 1 for 5. And Harden's 1 basket was basically a layup. So they're really struggling from the perimeter. But give credit to that defensive pressure on the perimeter by Robinson. Really wears on you.
And a steal that time by Unity. Loose ball was grabbed by Pierce, and now a 3 that time by Moore. Again, he can't get it to go. Really struggling from the floor, but it's Tyler Smith who gets the offensive board, so Unity gets another crack at it. Here's Harden, drives the lane. puts up the short shot, can't get it, tipped around, and put back up by Kellenhofer, and he's going to get to the free throw line. So an aggressive play on the offensive glass by Stratton Kellenhofer. And the foul is going to be whistled against Nick Brooks. That's his second. Or that's his third, pardon me.
Well, we talked about Unity playing with that tenacious ability. Here you see a guy 5'7" going among the trees, being a competitor. And then you see Kellenhofer again going in there, and he's done that all game. He's been playing fearlessly, going in there and really attack the offensive boards, gets to the free throw line. And Kurt, sometimes you have to do that. When things don't go well on the perimeter, you got to get down there in the paint area. Doesn't always look pretty, and right now for Unity, I'm sure they'd like things go a little bit better offensively, but down by 6, make this one here, they're down by 5, and it's just their ability to hit some perimeter shots, get back in this game.
And again, the Maroons with 2 players, 2 of their starters, Kirk Lowry and Chris Brooks, each with 4 fouls, are on the Robinson bench.
Yeah, if I'm Unity, I'm going to go right at Nick Brooks. I mean, that's the key right there. Try to get him in foul trouble. Put the pressure on Robinson.
Here's Brooks on the offensive end. Nicely done. Made his way to the basket and scored with the right hand.
Well, Tyler Smith with 2 fouls. He was very afraid of getting his 3rd foul. He let Brooks go on that shot.
16 points now for Brooks. He leads all scorers. Robinson staying in its man-to-man defense. Pierce gives it up to Kellenhofer. Lost the ball on the floor. Still on the floor. And Robinson comes away with it. A steal that time and a turnover. The 9th of the game now for Unity. Schnicker gives it up to Whipkey. Under 3 minutes to go here, 3rd quarter. 7-point Robinson lead, 36-29. And a reach-in foul that time is going to be whistled against Brian Moore of Unity, much to the chagrin of Lance Freeman, the Rockets head coach. And that's going to be his 3rd foul. And Kirk Lowry, despite having 4 fouls, Doug, has re-entered the game now for Robinson at the 2:40 mark of the 3rd period.
Yeah, big risk right here, taking that to put him in right now.
Boy, they're aggressively crashing the boards. Robinson is. Tyson Schnicker almost came away with the ball there. And now saving that ball from going out of bounds is Riley Pierce. End-to-end action now. And it's going to be a bodied-up foul is going to be whistled against Robinson that time, as it was Whipkey that got into the body of Tyler Smith. That'll be his 3rd and the 5th team foul against Robinson here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, it seems like the fouls are starting to pile up on both teams. And Kurt, like you talked about, it's going to be the ability to convert those into made free throws. I mean, right now, if I'm both teams, I'm going to try to take it to the paint, take it to the rack, get to the foul line.
Tyler Smith from 12 is no good. It's short, front of the iron, and tipped out and controlled that time by Brad Lockenmeyer of Robinson, who's played very well off the bench for the Maroons. 36-29, a 7-point lead here for Robinson. Now it's Smith from the outside. A shot no good, and cleared that time by Josh Harden, the smallest player on the floor.
Yeah, I think that was a poor shot selection by Robinson right there.
Harden takes it all the way down. It's out of bounds to Unity. Boy, neither team can get anything to go down, and many of the shots appear forced.
Well, we talked about being a physical contest. Defensively, both these teams have established themselves. It's just who can get the shot off and be able to finish it off. And right now, both teams really just sort of like I mean, they are just going at it so hard right now. I don't think they have much on either end on the offensive end. They're just selling out on the defensive end.
Moore, he keeps trying, and he keeps getting that ball off the front of the iron to the back of the iron. Moore is 0 out of 9 from the field. He's still scoreless, but as Robinson turns the ball over, Unity's going to get it again. Now let's take another look at the foul trouble that we can tell you about. We mentioned that 2 of Robinson's starters, Brooks and Lowry, each have 4 fouls. Whipkey and Nick Brooks with 3, and it's Voigt and Moore on the Unity side with 3 fouls as well. Tyler Smith the miss. The putback that time by Justin Little.
And you can see why when Chris Brooks isn't in there, the senior leadership right now, they are struggling offensively, trying to get the ball inside, and at times taking bad shots.
Schnicker the short miss off the back of the iron and out of bounds, and it's going to be a foul. And I see who they whistled this one on. Justin Little, that time of Unity. And that's going to be his third. So he's now the third Rocket to accumulate 3 fouls. We're under a minute to go here in the third quarter, and quickly Unity is going to try to make a substitution before the inbounds as Riley Pierce will now come in for Justin Little. So Unity has Josh Harden, Brian Moore, Riley Pierce, Tyler Smith, and Stratton Kellenhofer on the floor.
Boy, you know, you look at Riley Pierce, over 200 pounds, but when he comes in for Justin Little, he looks like a, like a little guy.
Yeah. Here's Brooks working the baseline, and another foul this time, and it's going to be whistled against Unity's Pierce, I believe.
Yeah, both teams aren't going to let you just go to the hoop uncontested. They're going to put a body on you. So when you go to the hole, expect physical contact and try to get to that free throw line. Surprisingly, neither team is in the bonus yet for all the fouling that's been going on the last 2 minutes.
That's what I was just checking, too. It seemed like we've had a lot of whistles. There has not been much flow here in the third quarter as opposed to the first 2 quarters of this basketball game. It was an 8-point Robinson lead at halftime. It's now just a 5-point Robinson lead under a minute to go here in the third period. The Maroons may be holding for one shot here, Doug, here in the quarter.
And smart idea right now. Just try to take the air out of the ball. They're in foul trouble. We got Chris Brooks, guy on the bench. Just take your time. You've got the lead.
20 seconds and counting here left in this third quarter. Robinson a 5-point lead and the basketball. And their fan contingent on their feet. Nick Brooks changed his shot as he was in the midair. 18 points for Brooks, now a 7-point lead, and now in the final seconds of the quarter, Unity all the way down, and a foul. No, it's going to be a double dribble whistled against Unity's Brian Moore.
Well, everybody in the whole arena knew the ball was going to go into Nick Brooks, and there was a lot of white jerseys, but he worked so hard without the basketball, was able to get open. Then the tough finish, he had to change his shot in midair, and I mean, again, just a great athletic move.
Final seconds of the third quarter. Long shot that time is short. Tyson Schnicker trying to throw a 3-ball in, but it's no good. Still, his Robinson Maroons have a 7-point third quarter lead at the end of 3. It's Robinson 38 and Unity 31. Back with more from the second state quarterfinal here in Peoria after these messages and a word from your local stations. 7-point Robinson lead. It's Nick Brooks leading the way with 16. His older brother Chris has 8, and then Lockenmeyer off the bench with 6. Unity led by Tyler Smith as expected. Kellenhofer has 6 and Eisenmenger have 4. So the 2 big guns have showed up. Nick Brooks with 16 and Tyler Smith with 14. They're really giving the fans here what they paid to see.
Well, and you talked about Nick Brooks. I mean, he scored 6 of the Robinson's 10 points there in the in the third quarter. So a real, physical slugfest type of game here. Guys really selling out defensively. And right now the difference is Nick Brooks here.
And a turnover that time whistled against Robinson. That'll be the 12th turnover for the Maroons.
And Kurt, when you put so much pressure on you defensively out there, sometimes something's got to give. And it's usually on the offensive end where you start to struggle. And both these teams are really, putting so much effort on there defensively that I think they're exhausted on the other end.
I agree with you. Here's Smith spinning, hanging, shooting. Missed it. Nick Brooks gets the defensive rebound.
Yeah, nice steal by Nick Brooks. Really clear out that glass. And Smith, he's really struggling. Only 3 points here in the second half. And he hasn't had too many good looks. Looks to be getting a little tired out there.
Brooks now is assured of his 5th double-double of the season. 18 points and 10 rebounds right now for the first-team All-Stater. But another Robinson turnover. So 2 fourth-quarter possessions and 2 turnovers for the Maroons. Gus Gillespie is trying to keep his troops under wraps here. They've led throughout. Had a 12-point lead in the first half. It's a 7-point lead now. Here's Cole Voigt. He spins, hangs, fires, drew some contact. No foul. Got his rebound back, put it up and put it in.
Well, Cole Voigt had to use all of his strength there. I mean, physically, he looks exhausted after that series of plays down there. And, just a great tenacity to stay with that basketball.
Now it's Brooks on the other end. Big collision, no call. Body still on the floor. Back comes Unity now. Harden for 3. Front of the iron, no good. Long rebound tipped out and controlled by Whipkey of Robinson. It was Cole Voigt who was on the deck for quite a long time back in the backcourt, but he's picked himself up.
Yeah, the two sharpshooters for Unity, 1 for 17. That's really difficult to overcome.
Nick Brooks, his 12-footer in the lane is good. Give him 20 points and 10 rebounds now in this basketball game.
That is such a tough shot. In traffic, goes straight up over a couple guys, finishes it off.
Voigt tries to answer. His 17-footer is short, but it's Smith on the offensive board and stick back.
Again, it's amazing to see Unity, Moore and Harden 1 for 17, and they're down by 5.
This is still anybody's basketball game. Now a 3 from the corner. That time is no good by Schnicker.
Look at another quick shot by Robinson. Again, get that ball inside. You want Nick Brooks to get those touches.
And the Unity fans on their feet, sensing a momentum change. Harden driving and scoring.
Well, you talked about his fearlessness right there. He showed some guts going in there 5'7" among the trees.
Timeout Robinson, and Unity is as close as the Rockets have been in a long, long time. Within 3 points at 40-37. We'll step aside here, don't go anyplace. 5:40 to go here in regulation. Robinson 40, Unity 37. Back with more from Peoria in a minute. This IHSA broadcast is brought to you by ADCO Tractor. You've got to drive one. And by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick. Bradco Supply Corporation is proud to be a sponsor of this year's Illinois High School Association State Basketball Tournament, the home of America's original March Madness. The best of luck to the Unity Rockets and the Robinson Maroons. Let's take a look at this driving basket by Josh Harden. He's pulled the Rockets within 3 points, Doug.
Yeah, I mean, he's only 5'7", goes up there. Good recognition. Brooks comes out to guard him. He knows he's not in there to block a shot. And takes it to the hole and somehow gets it off and puts it in the hole.
Harden now with 5 points. It's been a rough afternoon shooting, as you documented in that backcourt for Unity. Harden with 5 points, and Moore is scoreless yet. The Rockets are within 3, and now a turnover, and the Rockets have a chance to shoot for the tie with a 3-ball here.
Boy, Kurt, you talk about here this quarter, a lot of loose passes by Robinson, quick turnovers. They've got 14 for the game. You would expect Unity with the more turnovers. Sloppy ball handling by Robinson. It's really hurt him in the quarter so far.
Here's Moore with Chris Brooks on him. Brooks with 4 fouls. It's Voigt spinning and missing the shot. A nice move, but it's ripped down that time by Schnicker.
Well, if I'm Unity, I want to get that ball into Smith's hands right there. He went down there, that half-court possession. They didn't even look for him. Got to get his touches.
Nick Brooks, he hangs and fires. Missed the clap, missed the tip in, and it's going to be a foul, and it's going to be an offensive foul on Nick Brooks. That's number 4 for the All-Stater.
Things are starting to get real interesting. You've got both the Brooks brothers in foul troubles with 4 fouls. And if you're Unity right now, you've got to attack those 2 guys. Try to get them out of the ball game.
And now Unity, which has trailed the entire basketball game, has a chance again to shoot for the tie. Brooks, Lowry, both Brooks brothers and Lowry with 4 fouls. Nobody on Unity with 4, but you see the threesome there with 3. Voigt, Moore, and Little. 40-37, Robinson the lead, Unity the basketball, 4.5 to go, and now it's Voigt. Short shot rolls in.
Well, Cole Voigt really stepping up here in the 4th quarter with some big baskets down the stretch. Talk about senior leadership. He's a senior.
Brooks drew the foul, and he's going to get to the free throw line. He collided once again with Cole Voigt, who just picked up his 4th foul. There's absolutely no doubt what Robinson's game plan is here, Doug. Each time they've walked past the timeline, in the last 3 sequences, bang, ball goes right inside the Nick Brooks.
Well, you have to. I mean, he's a guy that physically has the ability to get the shot off when he does. Voigt comes over just a step too slow, puts that 235 pounds right on Brooks, and blows him out of there, gets called for the foul. But good idea once that ball goes in. Throw a couple white jerseys at him. Try to slow him down. Make the other guys from the perimeter, like Whipke or Lowry or Tedford, Schnitker, all those guys to step up, hit that shot.
Nick Brooks shot 222 free throws during the regular season. 82%, so he makes a lot of his foul shots, and good scoring players make their free throws.
That's right. You got to make them pay the price when they put you on the line.
He's 8 out of 9 from the free throw line this afternoon. He's got 22 points. His team is up by 3. It's Smith from the outside to miss, and Brooks may have just fouled out of the ball game. Chris Brooks just picked up his 5th foul.
That was a huge foul. Chris Brooks not only provides a lot of things out there for him, but he's like the extension of the coach out there. Very heady player, smart player. Tough shot by Tyler Smith. Loose ball. Got to give credit for Chris Brooks. Gets his hands on there, stays with it. And there's some contact there. He's out of position. That's when he gets called for the foul. A tough foul for him because, I mean, he was hustling there. It wasn't something where a guy was shooting the basketball. He's going for the loose ball.
Justin Little missed the free throw, but it's Kellenhofer who comes down with the offensive board, so Unity has it right back. Now it's Smith in the corner. Kick out to Harden. Penetration all the way down, and he drew the foul. He's going back to the free throw line, and Josh Harden is playing with a great amount of confidence right now.
Well, you can see right now, he hasn't had a lot of success from the perimeter, but feels that he can take anybody on the dribble, and he goes to his left. Most of the times right-handed, you're going to protect that. Goes to his left, so he can go either hand, and very explosive. No one there to help out. Everybody's staying with their guy. And again, you can see his confidence level like you talked about, Kurt, right now.
He's getting 2 free throws here. He's missed the first. 75% foul shooter.
Yeah, and that's hurting Unity right now.
I agree with you. They're just 8 out of 16 from the foul line here.
Yeah, they've had the last 3, missed the last 3 in a row, and they've got to step up, start converting from the free throw line, get them back in this ball game.
Second one is a miss, but an offensive board. Now Harden for 3. Brooks baseline collision. Free throws coming. How about Josh Harden? Missed 2 free throws, gather his composure, knock down the 3. We're tied at 42, but Nick Brooks comes right back down. He's going to get to the free throw line.
Well, like you talked about, Kurt, the ball's going to go inside every time to Brooks. Unity's got to recognize that. And not let that single guy beat you. Make the other guys who have struggled also for Robinson. You've got Whipke 1 for 4, and Tedford and Schnitker, those guys 0 for 5 from the field, so they're struggling too from the perimeter.
While we've got a timeout, let's remind you of what's coming tonight. Pleasant Plains and Bloomington Central Catholic will play in the 3rd state quarterfinal. That's at 6:30 tonight. And then the last game of the night, the 8:15 matchup, Bureau Valley and Providence St. Mel, right here along the lines of the IHSA television network. But this one is shaping up to be a fantastic finish. 3:35 left. Robinson 42, Unity 42. You see the field goals now. 39% for the Maroons, 33% for the Rockets. But the free throws is what we need to watch here. Robinson is 11 of 16, about 70%, but Unity just 47% from the line here so far.
Well, if you're Lance Freeman and you're Unity, you've got to be excited. We got to this point. Guys, let's forget about the past. Let's try to, get the ball to the hole. We've got these guys in foul trouble. Robinson, on the other hand, if you're Gus Gillespie, get the ball inside to this guy. I mean, he's the difference maker so far.
Now, statistically, the free throw advantage will go to Robinson. They shoot 70% on the season as opposed to 64% from Unity. Now, Unity down the stretch in the regionals and sectionals really turned it up and really shot the foul shot very well. Struggling today from the free throw line. Harden.
He feels it now.
Back-to-back three-pointers for Josh Harden, who's just 4 of 11 from the field, but he has given the Rockets their first lead of the afternoon by a point. Now Brooks tries to answer. Missed the shot. Offensive board and stick back that time by Brad Lockenmeyer. Eight points for Lockenmeyer with a huge lift he's given Gus Gillespie off the Maroons bench. So Unity's first lead of the game lasted all of about 15 seconds. And now again, they have a chance to reclaim the lead. Tyler Smith working the baseline.
Now they're starting to have some success offensively. Hit some shots from the perimeter. They've got to honor it. Opens it up inside. Nice move by Smith.
2.5 left in this one. Brooks for 3 from the corner. His shot is no good, but it's ripped down on the offensive end that time by Lockenmeyer, and it's Snicker who misses the shot, and again a rebound by Josh Harden. And Unity walks the ball up the floor with a 1-point lead.
Got to take their time. They got the lead finally. They're in no rush right now offensively. Take a little time off the clock, then try to run something.
Robinson has 2 timeouts left. Unity has 4. We're under 2 minutes to go here in regulation.
Got to stay aggressive offensively. Always look for the hole. Look for the back cutter. Don't get too passive out there. That's when you get in trouble.
And it's easy to do that with no shot clock. In fact, Lance Freeman leans over and asks for timeout. So the Rockets get a full timeout and will step aside. 1:33 to go here in regulation. Unity 47 and Robinson 46. Don't go anyplace. We're back with more from Peoria's Carver Arena in a minute. What a ball game this one's shaping up to be. Unity High School from Tolono leads Robinson 47-43. The Rockets have 3 timeouts left. The Maroons have 2. You see the foul situation. Robinson whistled for 8 and Unity 6. The possession arrow right now favors Unity.
And you think of Unity right now, the 2 guys that you've got to get your touches with, Josh Harden and Smith, Tyler Smith. Those guys right now, the ball's got to be in their hands offensively. They've got the ability. They're playing with here in the 4th quarter with a lot of confidence, especially Harden, who really struggled most of the game. Stepped up, hit some big, huge threes, and he could put it on the hole, put it on the floor, take it to the hole, but no quick shots. Take your time. Good timeout, I thought, by Lance Freeman, just to collect his team.
Backdoor play to Harden. He's going to get to the free throw line. Nicely mapped out offensive play out of the timeout.
Well, anytime that you put pressure on the perimeter, and there's the 5th foul on Nick Brooks. So a huge foul, a huge possession, turn of events for Robinson. Not only do they get to the free throw line, but they foul out probably one of the best players in the state. And now he's on the bench. I mean, what? Wow.
What a turn of events.
I mean, no question about it. Now, this game started to turn when Chris Brooks got into foul trouble, and then when he fouled out. This team lost its swagger a little bit, especially on the offensive end. We're very confused, and it seemed like Unity, when he fouled out, all of a sudden got a tremendous surge of energy or confidence.
Harden splits his free throws. It's a 2-point lead. Unity 48, Robinson 46. And Nick Brooks, the man with 24 points, has fouled out of the basketball game. So the Maroons have to look elsewhere. And a 3 is knocked down from the corner from Jared Whitke. And a turnover that time by Unity.
Whitke with a huge 3. Been silent all game, and he steps up right in front of their bench and knocks it down. Just a monster 3.
Here's another look at that 3 ball from the corner.
Oh, I mean, for him to step up there out of nowhere and knock that down took a lot of courage. Wow.
And so a timeout is called on the floor, and Unity and Robinson will go to their respective huddles. And let's listen in to the Unity huddle with Lance Freeman, their head coach.
Let's look. Good defense. If 32 gets the ball and it's under 45 seconds, look them out. You got it. Stretch, get cool. Stretch, cool. I want you all out. Look to get a steal. Look to get a steal, and we get the ball.
Now the Robinson huddle with Chris Gillespie.
Stand here. That's what I want. Up.
Robinson has 14 turnovers. Unity has 11. And I think that the Rockets probably have only turned the basketball over twice here in the entire second half, perhaps 3 times. Here's that foul situation. Both Brooks brothers have fouled out. Chris first, then Nick second. Kirk Lowry has 4 for Robinson, and Unity still has Voigt and Little each playing with 4 fouls.
Well, Robinson, the first thing you want to do is try to get that ball in bounds. That's the key. Don't worry about anything else. Then once they get that thing in, don't look to score. Take some time off the clock. The clock is their friend.
A near tie-up in the backcourt. Unity putting all kinds of backcourt pressure on, and it's going to be Tyson Schnicker who gets across the timeline, and there's a foul whistle now against Unity. Under a minute to go here. Robinson is ahead by a point, 49-48. Lance Freeman, the Rockets head coach, had his palms in the air saying, why the foul? But Schnicker, who's a 76% free throw shooter, goes to the foul line, and now a substitution as Cole Voigt is going to check back in with those 4 fouls for Unity and send Stratton Kellenhofer back to the Unity bench.
And Cole Voigt, much more offensive minded. Get him back in there. He's got more of a presence down low in the paint area especially. Kurt, you talked about free throws down the stretch. They're going to be huge, especially for Robinson if they want to keep this lead. Got to step up there in the crunch time and be able to finish those babies off.
Made 1, missed 1. Tyler Smith, the defensive board for Unity, which has the basketball and trails by 2. 50-48 Robinson. Under 50 seconds to go. Collision right at the perimeter. Bodies on the floor all over the place, and we finally have a whistle. And Kirk Lowry is trying to get his senses.
Yeah, there was guys flying all over the place. And right now, he's hurting right now. He took a blow.
He's waving off the trainer, but he was hammered. There was a train collision right there.
Oh, right there.
He got Cole Voigt.
Up close and personal on that one, too. Oh, that one hurt.
So 2 free throws now coming for Brian Moore, who is scoreless in this game. We mentioned what a vital part he and Josh Harden have been in that Unity backcourt. But right now, Brian Moore can't buy a basket, whether it's from the field or the foul line.
And there's goose eggs all the way across there. Free throws, 3-pointers, and
he's missed them both, but an offensive board by Cole Voigt, and he scored again!
How did he get that shot off?
And we're tied at 50 with 30 seconds and counting.
Right now, if you're Robinson, you want to take care of the basketball. The worst thing that can happen, you go into overtime. Oh.
And a foul on the perimeter by Brian Moore with 22.2 seconds remaining. Kellenhofer is going to come back in for Unity.
Yeah, from our angle, I mean, look at it defies the law of physics. If we could see that shot, Voigt shot that one. It was just amazing how he even got that shot off.
Here's another look at that basket by Cole Voigt.
He's falling down. He puts the spin on it. It hits the ball, hits the backboard. It does. I mean, it was just an amazing. He puts an English on the ball that goes in. What a great shot.
That's a hard enough shot to make in the first minute of the game, but in the final minute of the game, with bodies draped all over you and the game hanging in the balance
and falling down. Right now, if you're Lance Freeman, you're just assuming that they're going to make both free throws. And if they do, you get that ball in bounds, get it down here. I think you're going to call a timeout, try to run some time off the clock real quick. Not too much time.
And don't forget, we'll be back with you tomorrow. The semifinals start at 11:15. One of these 2 teams will be playing in that one. The second state semifinals at 12:45. And the state championship tomorrow night is at 8:15 here at Carver Arena.
Also, if you're Lance Freeman, you want to make sure you block out. And a little easier now because Gus Gillespie takes everybody off the free throw line. So
Kirk Lowry, a 76% foul shooter, a senior, at the free throw line at a tie game.
Oh.
And now Unity is going to call timeout. The Rockets have possession with 14.7 seconds to go in a tie ball game in the state quarterfinals. Some of the network affiliates along the lines in the IHSA television network include WYCC Chicago, WSPY in Plano, WAOE in Peoria, WNOI in Flora, WCJT in Mount Carmel, and WSIU Southern Illinois. Cable outlets include Adams Telecom and Television, Advanced Technologies, AT&T, Cablevision Communications, Cass Cable, Chartercom, Diverse Communications. You see the names of the cable carriers who are helping us bring you these exciting basketball games here from Carver Arena. Heron is already in. The Tigers knock out Farmington in the first state quarterfinal. And what a ball game this second quarterfinal is shaping up to be. Robinson 50 and Unity 50 here at Carver Arena. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by for the entertainment and non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the express written consent of the Illinois High School Association is strictly prohibited. 14.7 seconds to go here. Unity with a basketball. We are tied at 50.
Yeah, Unity don't want to shoot it too quick. But I'd love to get that ball into Josh Harden's hands right now. He is really taking over here in the fourth quarter. And he's got tremendous confidence right now. Put it on the floor. Look for that jumper. If it's not there, go to the hole.
10 seconds. 6 to shoot. Pull-up jumper by Moore, no good. And we're headed to overtime. Although we might have a second or so put back on the clock, or no? Nope. We're calling overtime. There was a collision out there initially. I thought maybe one of the officials was going to put another second on the clock, but no. Hey, we've had so much fun in the first 4 quarters. We're going to play another overtime session here. Time for a break. Unity and Robinson are tied at 50. We've got overtime coming after these messages and a word from your local stations.
We played 32 minutes and it's all even. Lance Freeman in the huddle was doing his best job of trying to inspire his team, telling them Robinson's picked as the best team. You guys are still playing them. You're still alive. In overtime, defend the three-point line and box out. Back to you, Kurt.
All right, Lee, as you said, 32 minutes, not enough time to decide this one. So we've got an overtime session of 4 minutes coming, and Unity controls the opening tip. Unity in the white uniforms, Robinson in the maroon. Both these teams are white and maroon with their school colors, and they put on a wonderful show here in the second state quarterfinal. Moore all the way down, his first basket of the game. And so Unity draws first blood in the overtime session.
Well, if you're Unity, you got to give them sort of the edge. You've got the Brooks brothers, both of them have fouled out. And Unity pretty much unscathed so far. A couple guys in foul trouble, but other than that, they still are intact out there.
Lowry working the baseline, and he scores. Both teams scoring on their initial possessions of the OT. Robinson stays on a man-to-man. Harden, kick out to Moore. He's feeling it for three.
Well, there's one thing shooters have. They have no conscience, and he has forgotten the last regular. And here in overtime, he has stepped it up and hit some huge baskets.
Brian Moore missed his first 10 shots from the field, but he's 2 for 2 in the overtime, and his 5 points, all here in the overtime, now have given Unity the lead. And Schnicker tries to answer, but his shot rims out, and it's ripped down that time by Andy Eisenmenger of Unity, which now walks the ball up the floor with under 2.5 to go here in the first overtime. We expect Unity to milk the clock a little bit.
They'll take their time right now. There is no rush. Got a 3-point lead.
And a near steal, and now a steal. No, he got it right back. Oh, how did Moore get it back? But now he turned it right back over, and it's going to be Robinson's basketball. What a sequence there right at the timeline. Right in front of Lance Freeman, the head coach of the Rockets. Somebody lost a contact lens, and they found it already. That is absolutely amazing. No, I thought it looked as if somebody had picked it off the floor.
Well, it's right in front of us, Kurt. How's your eyes? Can you pick that one off there?
There it is.
All right, let's reset it. 2:02 to go here in this overtime session. Unity has outscored Robinson 5-2 in the overtime. And now 2 minutes and counting left in this overtime. Robinson with the basketball down 3. The Maroons led for most of the game in regulation. From the corner, a 3 ball is no good by Lowry. And again, it's Unity coming down. All white shirts around the basketball. That time it's Eisenmenger again, his second defensive rebound here in the OT. And a foul at the timeline that time is going to be whistled against Robinson. That's on Tyson Schnicker.
Well, you look at Robinson right now, this crew they've got out there without their all-stater and team leader and Chris Brooks. I mean, they're just out there with guts and just testing the fortitude to hang in there. And you can see Unity, really's confidence has gone up dramatically as the game went along. And right now, you've got Moore and Harden really starting now to offensively feel it. And it was just amazing for them to be in the game when those guys really had made only one shot between the two of them for most of the game, until with about 3 or 4 minutes to go there, they really stepped up, and especially Harden.
And Harden makes both his free throws now. And Unity has its largest advantage of the afternoon. A 5-point lead at 57-52 with 1:35 to go here in this first overtime. Now a 3 from the top of the circle is good by Whipkey.
I mean, just when you think they're down and out, Whipkey comes up with a huge 3-pointer.
Smith that time is hacked out near the timeline, and it's going to be a foul against Whipkey, who just knocked down that big 3-pointer. And that's his 4th foul.
Yeah, out there right now, you've got Lowry, who's got 4, and Whipkey's got 4. And it's very difficult because if you've got a foul, you've got a foul. You can't sit there and try to figure out
who's going to foul, right? Yeah. Well, this is the guy you want at the free throw line if you're Unity. Tyler Smith with his folks watching. 71%. These guys had not shot the free throws very well in the first 3 quarters, but boy, in the 4th quarter here in the overtime now, making good on their foul shots. And Tyler Smith now with 20 points. And it's back to a 4-point lead at 59-55 as we approach the 1-minute mark left in the OT. Lowry gives it up to Whipkey. His long jumper is no good. Off into the corner and out of bounds to Unity. And right now, Lance Freeman spreading his arms apart, wanting his team to spread its offense out.
Right now, it's up to Unity taking care of the basketball and making their free throws down the stretch.
That time, Josh Harden just single-handedly broke the pressure.
Yeah, he looks like he just started the game. He looks so fresh out there.
And he's got it back. Under 40 seconds to go now.
Like you talked about, Kurt, no one knows who to foul. because right now you've got 2 guys who've got 4 fouls, so you've got to be careful in that regard.
Jared Whipke with his 5th foul. And so 3 of Robinson's starting 5 have now fouled out. And back to the free throw line for Josh Harden. Again, the free throw numbers have not been especially glorious for the Rockets. 13 of 25 for the game. But boy, in the late stages of the 4th quarter here in the overtime, they've been solid as a rock at the foul line.
Exactly. They've hit 4 in a row so far here. And they've hit them when they've counted. I mean, when right down the stretch, they've stepped up and hit some big throws. And this guy, I mean, for struggling most of the game, I mean, he has just played the last, I would say, 8 minutes. Just a monster game. I mean, stepped up and with some big buckets.
5-point game, under 30 seconds to go now. A 3 ball is up and missed that time, but the rebound is put back by Kent Tedford. Schnitker with the miss, Tedford with the offensive board and lay-in, and a timeout by Robinson. 22.5 seconds left in the the overtime session. It's a 3-point Unity lead, and this is a full timeout now granted to the Maroons. So let's step aside here. Don't go anyplace, folks. 22.5 to go in this first overtime. Unity leads Robinson 60-57. We're back after these messages and a word from your local station. All right, 60-57, Unity with the lead here. 22.5 seconds to go here in overtime. And they need to go the length of the floor here. And immediately tackled in the backcourt is Harden. See if they give that foul to Lockenmeyer. Nope, it's not going to be him. J.B. Holmes, who's just checked in, is going to be whistled for the foul. So only 2 seconds. In fact, 1 9/10 of a second tick off. And now it's going to be Harden right back to the free throw line where he's made a living here in the overtime.
Yeah, he's got to go to that free throw. He's got to make 1, make it a 4-point game at least, if not 2. That's two possessions for Robinson to come down. Very important for Unity not to put them on the free throw line. Stop that clock, because right now you've only got 20 seconds to go in the game.
Both free throws good. And Harden now quietly has a 17-point effort. It's a 5-point game at 62-57. And now it's Schnitker from the outside. It's no good. Loose ball on the floor. Scramble 4. And look who's at the bottom of the stack again. It looks like Cole Voigt. Held ball. It's going to go to Robinson. 10.8 seconds to go now. Lance Freeman said that Cole Voigt is the most competitive kid he's ever coached, and I think we've seen the reason why here this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that I thought he got in foul trouble. That's when Unity started to struggle a little bit, and has played the last almost 4th quarter here and the whole overtime with 4 fouls. And give Lance Freeman a lot of credit. He's been able to move him in out of the lineup so he doesn't in a position where you get in foul trouble.
3 ball again, missed that time by Schnitker, and the long rebound's out, and Tolono Unity, which had never before been to the state quarterfinals, is 3.6 seconds away from its first ever state basketball trophy. They will be guaranteed an opportunity to play tomorrow in 3.6 seconds.
Well, Unity bended. separated during the game, but they didn't break the whole time. I mean, they hung in there, and then all of a sudden, when Brooks Brothers got in foul trouble, especially Chris Brooks, they were able to get something going. And they just hung in there tough. It was a gutty performance by them.
And this man at the free throw line, the senior guard, Josh Harden, is our country insurance player of the game. Boy, he started slowly, but did he finish with a bang? 19 points and a 64-57 Unity victory over the Robinson Maroons. And Unity and Heron will play in the first state semifinal tomorrow. What a ball game, folks. Thanks for being with us. For Doug Altenberger, this is Kurt Pegler, 64.